A table had been set up in the middle of Hieronymus's room, filled with 3 plates of eggs Florentine and asparagus. I hadn't been a fan of asparagus until after I married Hieronymus, but to be honest, it was starting to grow on me. How are your studies progressing? Hieronymus asks Daniel, who seems content to just pick at his eggs with his fork. Why don't you tell me? Daniel asks. You're supposed to be my teacher. Evaluate me. Very well, Hieronymus says with a sigh. You have made alliances and put yourself into a position of power among your classmates. Indeed, your parents must be greatly impressed with your achievements, such as what exactly? Selling candles? I have yet to see any sign of real leadership from you. He's just being hard on you because he wants you to do well here, I remind him, while Hieronymus only grunts. Daniel just keeps his eyes down and doesn't say anything. It looks like something is bothering him, but I don't dare ask him about it in front of Hieronymus. And yourself? He asks Daniel. Pray, tell me, what is your expert opinion of this establishment? I've met a lot of new people and I've had a lot of fun, Daniel says. Things are going well. Hieronymus nods and we all pick at our respective plates awkwardly until Hieronymus speaks again. You are a young man far from home, Hieronymus continues. Are you interacting well with your classmates? Are they friendly? Yes, I would say so. Hieronymus clears his throat. Is there anyone that you are particularly close to? Wait. Daniel stops eating. Are you asking me if I'm dating anyone? His face lights up. I can't believe that the legendary Professor Grabiner is fishing for romantic gossip. I would prefer not to, Hieronymus replies with a roll of his eyes. However, your parents, more specifically your mother, has put a direct request in for this information. In these circumstances, I am commanded to have responsibility for you, and it is, therefore, my business. Daniel just shakes his head. I don't see why anyone cares. You are heir to the mantle of the woods, Hieronymus reminds him. You must return to your entailed territory. If you involve yourself too seriously with anyone, you will face a painful disruption at the end of the year. What would you do then? Admit that you had been lying to them all along? Disappear, never to be seen again? Would you try to convince your partner to travel to your home with you? You know that you cannot remain in this country. It doesn't matter, Daniel says as he shakes his head. I'm not involved with anyone. Not like that. Hieronymus just nods stiffly. Something to keep in mind for the future, then. He clears his throat. Although you will remain here for Thanksgiving recess, you will be expected to return home over the winter break, which begins after classes on December 20th. If there are any activities or sights you wish to see in this country, you should send a proposal to your parents. Otherwise, you are to report to me in the evening and I will teleport us to the nearest waypoint. Your escort will cross the spirit gate and meet you there. Of course, you must not tell anyone that I am traveling through the other world. I know, Daniel says, sounding every bit the petulant teenager. Are we done now? Not quite, Hieronymus says as he continues. As I mentioned, you will be returning to your homeland for the end of the calendar year. It would therefore be easy to arrange for you to remain there indefinitely if you do not wish to continue. What? Daniel demands. Of course I wish to continue. I chose to come here, to spend a year in America. Why would I give up now? I am not telling you to leave, Hieronymus says, the irritation present in his voice. I am giving you the option if you wish it, if you are tired of pretending to be someone you're not. They just stare at each other for a few moments before Hieronymus sighs. If there's anything else you wish to discuss, any difficulties you are having, What do you care? Daniel demands. You just made it painfully clear you don't want me here. I am trying to provide adult guidance and supervision, Hieronymous snaps. Well, I didn't ask for it, Daniel snaps back, and Hieronymous is on his feet in an instant, jarring the table with a clatter. If you cannot be civil, then you are invited to leave. Good, Daniel snaps. I don't want to be here anyway. Your immaturity will not impress, Hieronymous starts, but Daniel just gets up and storms out of the room, slamming the door shut behind him. Well, that went well, I say as I turn to Hieronymous, who has decided to turn his glowering expression in my direction. You're projecting on him again. I am not projecting, Hieronymous snaps. I am trying to look out for his best interests, and he deems it necessary to repay my generosity with insolence. Okay, I say quietly as I roll my eyes, but Hieronymous notices the expression on my face all the same. What? It's nothing. Tori, what? It's nothing. Tori, what? I just sigh and shake my head. Didn't you see that something was bothering him? This seems to catch Hieronymous off guard as he shakes his head. I mean, everyone else is going home for Thanksgiving to see their family. Maybe he really misses his parents. Hieronymous says as he sits back down in his chair to resume his unfinished breakfast. Do you miss your parents? It's an obvious diversion to get off the topic of Daniel, but it's a surprisingly effective one. What brought this on? This is going to be your first Thanksgiving away from home as well, Hieronymous notes. Are there any Thanksgiving traditions that you miss? I cross my arms over my chest. Honestly, I'm not missing much. My mom always woke up early to watch the parade while my dad locked himself in the kitchen. Then we would eat dry turkey with mashed potatoes and green beans, and then we'd go to bed. This seems to catch Hieronymous by surprise. That's all? I remember playing board games and stuff with them when I was younger, I say as I think back. But then, as I got older, I got assigned homework over break, so I was usually trying to get ahead in class before end of semester finals. And then last year, I just took advantage of being home to do all the things I can't hear, like watch TV and play video games and listen to music. Hieronymous says as I just stare down at my plate. He seems to be waiting for me to make some sort of realization, but I'm not sure what he wants me to say until I put two and two together for myself. I don't miss them, I say quietly. I don't miss my parents at all. I turn to Hieronymous with a sense of urgency. Does that make me a bad person? Hardly, Hieronymous replies with a roll of his eyes. Well, what about you? I ask, suddenly desperate to get the topic off of me. What did you do for Thanksgiving when you were younger? Thanksgiving is an American holiday, Hieronymous reminds me, and I can't help but mope as the realization sets in. So you don't want to celebrate Thanksgiving with me? I ask him. I mean, it's not like there's much to celebrate. It's watching a parade and eating a bunch of food. Big whoop. There is something that can be said about tradition, Hieronymous offers. Potsdam has already insisted that the Thanksgiving feast is mandatory. I don't usually attend the parade, but if you would like me to be there, I will, of course, attend. Only if you want to, I reply, almost a bit uncertainly. Hieronymous seems to wait for me to make up my mind before continuing. I was just wondering, what did you do last year without me here? Aggressively studied memory spells and green magic, Hieronymous replies resolutely, and I made sure to take at least 5 minutes to breathe, knowing that you were probably safer at home than you were on this campus. I can't help but smile at that, but it's a forced smile. It feels like that happened 5 years ago, I say to no one in particular. Not last year. I shake my head. I just hate how you had to worry about me so much. I always worry about you, Tori, Hieronymous says with a sigh. It's my duty to protect you. I know, I reply, kicking the edge of the table with the toe of my sneaker. I hate it when you say it like that. It makes me feel like a burden. It's my privilege to protect you, Hieronymous ventures, and I can't help but grin at him. Well, hopefully there's nothing you need to protect me from anymore, I say as I get to my feet. Except for maybe Daniel's wrath. I better go after him and see why he's so upset. If you must, Hieronymous sighs, and I stop in my tracks. Would you rather I stay here with you? I ask, almost a little bit surprised. I was hoping we would spend more time together now that recess has officially commenced, Hieronymous replies. He looks embarrassed to be saying it, and I can't help but beam at him as I walk over and kiss him deeply, running one hand through his hair. And we will, I tell him, but like you said, Daniel is a young boy far from home. I just want to make sure he's okay and he won't do anything stupid, and then we will spend all of Thanksgiving break together. Sound fair? If you must, Hieronymous replies with a sigh, and I give him another quick kiss as I head out the door in search of Daniel.